Savage here from the Manly Seagulls.
He's come through Luai.
The SuperCoach Experience podcast is one of the best podcasts going around, boys.
They go to hole. Scores
Keep doing what you're doing, and yeah, I just want to say, what a podcast. Go the Mighty Eagles.
Hey lads, Warne here from the New Zealand Warriors. Hope you have a big year with the SuperCoach Experience podcast.
Got the ball to Sims. It's down to hole. It's gone in again. What a pass.
Oh, that one really bumps. Hello and welcome to the SuperCoach Experience podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Savage, the coach of the Savage Turbos. TLT has dropped. It is a massive one. I am joined here by my trusty co-host, Tim Moody. How are you, Tim?
Good, buddy. Good. Nice to see you get that right this time. Happy with that. Yeah, I'm pumped, man. I'm really excited. I'm equally as nervous, though, so let's get into it, huh?
Very good. And we've also got Jake on the live stream, the coach of Kiss My Behinds. How are you, Jake?
Good, mate. Teamless Tuesday. The day we've all been waiting for, and can't wait to dissect it.
Jesus Christ, it is an exciting day. Teamless Tuesday, it's always a great one. We've got Mikey joining us very shortly. He let us know very last minute that he's going to join, so hopefully we see him very soon. Guys, have we looked at team lists, and what are our initial thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've just sort of read my eyes over it real quick, seeing if anything really completely stood out. Yeah, I think there's so many options, man. There's not major surprises. I think there's just some things like, oh, okay. But yeah, man, I'm sitting here going, look, I haven't picked a side yet from that. So I've only had it's only been out for about 40 minutes. But man, I feel like there's so many ways we could go with it. I'm pretty excited. Gonna have to make some decisions pretty sharp.
Jake, what are your initial thoughts on the team list drop? We're already getting comments in here. Everybody is going crazy. Bloody initial thoughts here. Schiller not even on the Supercoach list. Who is Schiller and why is he in the side over Jared Croker? I don't know, but we're going to find out.
Schiller,
hey, come on. No, cutting off this episode. Continue.
I think Schiller is the guy I was talking about the other weekend that looks like Schneider.
Yeah. I
think they both wear black headgear and they look exactly alike. So I think that's who he is from the trial, young fella. I'm not too sure, but that's who I think.
Well, you're probably right. You did say he was killing it. Josh Camplin here, your mate, Jake Townsend.
Mate. Man, he's unfortunately a Cowboys supporter like my brother, and look, they've got our halfback rejects, so yeah, good luck to him.
Chris has COVID apparently, so that probably is a reason why Schiller is named.
And just on that, I think there was a few sort of players that might have got COVID sort of that we weren't expecting to not be named, because I had the team list, even for the Sharks. Connor Tracy, I don't think was named at all, so he might have been one that might have been a COVID case, which is why he's out. But I think there's a couple others there.
COVID is going to absolutely rattle this tournament this year. Team list, how good is it that it's here? Let's get into it, I guess. We're waiting on Mikey, so hopefully he can join in and add a bit of spark to the episode. But firstly, the Top Sport Multi. This is the last week to jump on it and get complete value from it, I guess. I'm not sure if it's going to be available during the year, but it's going to be, it's gone down $6. So it started at $8.50. It's now $6. Sharks, Penrith, Manly to make the top 8 and Newcastle to fall out of the top 8. $6 now. It's looking really good. And
let's just watch this.
Are you
suffering from frequent bouts of bet limititis?
Try TopSport, the bookmaker that isn't scared to take a bet. Other providers may significantly limit your bets, causing frustration and angst. TopSport clears that blockage by welcoming big and winning punters, giving you fast, effective relief on those bigger bets. Overcome bet limititis by downloading the TopSport app today. Brought to you by TopSport. Feel the excitement.
Don't let the game play you. Stay in control. Gamble responsibly.
So cheers to TopSport for everything. Obviously, Timmy won the SuperCoach competition last year, and he's actually got a jersey made up for a Villi Army jersey, and it looks really good. It's on our socials. If you join our overall league code, which is 499339, I'm pretty sure, you can go in the running to win that Villi Army jersey. You can go in the running to win a SuperCoach Championship ring, courtesy of supercoachchampions.com. But when signing up to TopSport, use the code SCExperience. Lads, starting off, let's get the team list up here. So for the first game, Manly versus Penrith, news has come in today that Nathan Cleary's out for the first 4 weeks. What do we think of Penrith now that Cleary is out? I'm tipping the Manly Sea Eagles, but the big question is Tom Trbojevic. Jake, what do you take away from this team list, and what's the biggest shock and the biggest not shock to you? Well,
I guess Nathan, we kind of knew that he was going to be out for the first 3 rounds earlier today, so I guess that's not quite a shock. One I was surprised by is Ola Kawatu. I thought he was going to be injured for the first 3 or 4 rounds, and I guess that might put a bit of pressure on Bullimore. We thought that 2 second rows out, he's obviously the third string, but with one already back there, I think it takes Schuster to come back in, and then he's back to the bench scoring 5. So I think Ola Kawatu, in terms of SuperCoach for Bullimore, is going to be a bit of a tough one. But I mean, we're just glad that Targo's there for a cheapie. But I mean, the big one is with no Cleary, Savs, and Tim. Does that open up Tom Trbojevic to splash the cash on?
Timmy, I'll go to you shortly. I think my stance on Turbo is still kind of the same. I really think that $1.2 million mark is just so much, and I've had the same stance for a long time. It kills me not to have Turbo in my side, but it's really raining and it's very wet in Sydney this week, so I think he's going to score 74 this week. That's going to be in my bold predictions. 74 this week against Penrith, but the first game of the year always tends to be low scoring, and Thursday nights especially. So I'm kind of banking on that. And if he scores low that first round, then you're pretty much sweet if you've gone without him. You can deal with him going over 100 for the next 2 weeks, and then you've got a plan to get him in. Timmy, Charlie Staines on the wing. We talked about Robert Jennings the other day. No shock, I guess.
Yeah, it looked like Stainsy boy might have got the starting spot over the younger fellas coming through. But, Stainsy's not someone I'm going to go with. I was really hoping to pick up the right winger, whether it was like maybe either Taylor May or Jennings. But, yeah, I have to stay away from that one. With the Turbo thing, I mean, my gut is still telling me no, at this point to start the season. I'm probably not. I thought I'd be more inclined to be considering him if Cleary wasn't available, but I still think that now that I've noticed that Pappy's there, has been named, I think I'm still comfortable with Teddy and Pappy.
Yeah, I agree. That is a massive talking point of team lists. Obviously, we don't usually go through every single team list. We always do an overall thing of them, but I think it's only fitting for Team List Tuesday. We go through all of them and dissect it as it's only just come out. But Pappy was named, and I think that changes a lot of opinions for people considering Turbo. Only problem is Pappy plays well after Turbo does. So we've got a comment here from Adam Sargent. What odds are TopSport offering that Savs backtracks and gets Turbo into his side before kickoff?
That'd be great. A great
You
market.
do like a late flip, Savs. You do like a late flip.
$1.24. Timmy, since the last podcast, my side is looking a lot more cookie cutter at the moment because of your advice. So I thank you for that.
Sure.
Team list, Isaac Targo is in. Honestly, there's no real surprises here. I think we're expecting most of this. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, both sides are pretty settled, so you kind of expect those ones. A lot of people were banking on that Tillatau Cooler to get a spot. And he's got a bench spot, which kind of means he's a bit of a trap. He's kind of, I know we don't really deal with A's at this point, but I mean, I don't think he's going to be making money playing 3 minutes off the bench. So kind of stay away from him because I know he's one, I guess, injury away from playing the back line, but yeah, I'd kind of be staying away from him if he's on the bench because Des historically does not like to use his bench players at all.
Maybe more one to pick up when he does get an opportunity in the starting side.
If there's an injury in the back line, definitely get him in.
Throughout the year, yep. Nice.
Very good. So who are we tipping, guys? Timmy?
I'm going to tip the Panthers. I know that they're without Nathan Cleary, but I just feel that they're at home. They're tough to beat at home. They're going to want to start the year well after, winning the premiership and prove, that they're, not just a team that can only play with Nathan. I think they'll still be competitive. I think it'll be a tight game. It'll be very low scoring. And I think their Penrith defense will probably show a bit of resolve and get them over the line.
Guys, we got an intruder in on the podcast. So I wouldn't say an intruder, but we've got a really good intruder. It's like when Maths kind of gets the intruder and makes the series a lot more interesting than it was. We've got Mikey come in. He's in Melbourne at the moment seeing the Harry Potter special. I think it's like a live play or something. Mikey, how are you? And how was the Harry Potter show?
Oh, how's it going, Sav? Thanks for that nice intro. Don't really like the comparison to Maths there, but I understand. It's more like a bit of an intruder on Big Brother I would have preferred. But yeah, no, in Melbourne, go to the play tomorrow. So I'd like to say I'm here in Melbourne to do a bit of research on the Melbourne Storm and that, but that's definitely not the case. Couldn't really care. Luckily I'm in my mate's apartment, so I was able to quickly jump on the mic. So pretty big team list, boys. I'm not sure what you to discuss now, but a lot of changes. I quickly made a change to my team before jumping on, but we've got a lot of talking points to go through. So I'll only be on for like 20, 30 minutes. Let's talk SuperCoach.
You've come on at a good time because we've just gone straight into the Penrith versus Manly. We haven't really we've touched on a little bit, but Penrith versus Manly we've gone over. I mean, no massive surprises there, but what are your initial thoughts on team lists regarding the Penrith Panthers and Manly before we move on?
Yeah, so let me talk about the Manly. So I've actually changed my team like twice, like before team list and after team list. We all thought Owa Kalatu was injured. I still think he could be a late scratching. We've got to wait and see what happens there. But the good news is that Lawton's on the bench over Bullimore. So I think that kind of locks him up for a starting role. So I think he, that makes him a bit more of an option. I was worried at like running too many cheapies in the front row. But after this news, it kind of just gives me a bit of taste where if Okoalatu drops out, we can use I think Bullimore's just ahead with Lord, and maybe they prefer to have a bench / utility on there. So, that's my initials with the Manly side. I think Cooler's a bit of a trap, and with Penrith, Staines gets a nod, but I think I'm kind of glad that I'm not going to get trapped into a Robert Jennings buy. And I think the Panthers are going to struggle without Cleary, but I'm interested to see how they go. I guess it makes Tom very tempting for you guys. Not for me.
We did speak about Tom. I think I'm pretty much on the same standings that he's too much, and it's very wet in Sydney this week. So there's a lot of negatives, but I definitely do see the positives. Who are you tipping this week?
I definitely am going to back my boys Penrith, but I will have a nice 4-legged multi where I do have Manly head-to-head. I'll see on the price. I think I'd like to back whoever the underdog is in this game, but I think Penrith can still get the job done. They've got a lot of those forwards back. Everyone else was named. So I think they're still within a chance, but it just depends if Luai and O'Sullivan can rise to the occasion because they didn't in that Parramatta game. But now Panthers will have that platform of Isaiah Yeo, Fisher Harris, and Edwards at the back. So there'll be a different side. I still think it's going to be a very competitive game to open the season. I think it's still a very juicy game.
Very good. We got a comment here from Sargent. Sweet. Mikey managed to get away from the misses. Mikey, I got to say, the quality of your microphone is much better than the one you have at home. Can you stay at Melbourne?
Oh, no, yeah, this is my mate's Mike. He's got a very good setup here. He's good old Chris. He's got a very good setup here. So, yeah, it's a good feeling. Yeah, Chris Farrell. Yeah, it's a nice, good feeling for now. Yeah, he lives in Melbourne, so that's why I'm here staying in his apartment, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's better than listening to the birds outside on the balcony because I'm sure I would have got bagged out for that.
And the pots and pans.
Yeah,
very good. So moving on to the next game,
Before we do, can I just pull you up on that? I just want to ask you about Sipley. What do you think about Sipley as a prop? Do you think he might be an option, or you think he's someone to stay away from?
Are you asking me, Timmy?
I was going to ask.
The resident Manly fan, I reckon.
Resident Manly fan.
Doesn't know much about Manly, but go for it, mate.
I can answer the question. Sipley, he's a good player, but he's in there because Tapau's out, right?
No, Tapau's back.
He's there with Paseka, which is a surprise.
I don't like it because Jake plays big minutes, obviously, and then there's Paseka who plays big minutes as well. Sipley is who knows? I'm not sure if they've put more faith in Sipley, and Sipley's going to get more minutes this year, but I just don't trust any forwards from Manly. Obviously, Bullimore is the exception because he's got a better role this year, but just the minutes and the rotation, Des doesn't seem to change his tactics throughout the year. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of it. He's more of a wait and see for mine. How much is he?
I think he's cheap. He's like 280. I think if you're going to go an option where you take one gun front row, example AFB or Haas, and
oh no, Mikey's frozen up.
Yeah, he's gone.
Oh, he's back.
He's back.
Who's back? Me? Did I drop out?
You cut out.
Sorry, but yeah, as I was trying to say, yeah, Sipley or JTP could be a nice guy to have on your front row bench, just to give you a bit more depth if you're going a lighter structure in your front row. So I think he could combo nicely as your backup front row if you're going to take a risk with Bullimore. I'm doing something similar at this stage. I think there's a lot of value there.
He looked okay last year in bits, when he was on the field. I like what I've seen of him. So
yeah, definitely.
All right, so moving on to the next game, Raiders versus Sharks. Jake, I'll lead it off with you. What are your big takes from this one, and where are you looking to go?
I mean, there's not really many takes on it because we're kind of a reasonably settled team. I mentioned before that Connor Tracy, I think he must be on the COVID list. The only reason for him to be out, Mortalo moves to centre. Nico Hines, for those that I guess have had to sell Cleary, is Nico Hines an option for a lot of people? You guys, did any of you have Cleary in your initial team?
Yeah, Cleary's been in my side.
Yeah,
the thing, I reckon there's a lot of competition. Not Hines is a great option. You could go Hughes, Semi Walker, even DCE. He's maybe not the best start to the season normally in history, but I just reckon there's a lot of competition. I think there's a lot of competition in that 7 spot, and I think that's going to be a really interesting point of difference where a lot of sides are very, very similar. I think that could be an interesting. Whoever gets the 7 sort of right to start the year might be people, the people that start to push it up in the rankings, I think. Or that and the fullback, obviously.
Who's James Schiller? We don't know either. So
he's I just did a bit of he was the guy that had the black headgear in the trial, so Timmy was right. But Seb Chris,
he looked really good.
Yeah, I think Seb Chris is on the COVID list, so that's 1, maybe 2 weeks. So
they've both got the Schneider and Schiller. It's very like German sort of surnames. So I just remember it's.
Well, don't forget,
So
once Rapana goes in there, then it's just going to push Valemi into centers, and then it's not going to. You definitely couldn't touch him.
You wouldn't be touching him at all, I don't think.
No.
And also, Seb Chris has COVID apparently. So
yeah, he's on the list. I don't know if Hazard was a close contact.
Brad Schneider was named at 7. Jake, Is he in your side? Yeah, or surely he's someone that I don't want to say the word, but he's
a must-have.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. I mean, he's a 188k cheapie halfback that's going to play the first couple rounds until actually for a long time. Just reading Addos. Yep, 20 on it. Let's go.
Yep,
we're on Addo.
Yeah, nice.
Sure.
No, yeah, I think you're in the favourite box there, Jake. But that's a nice bet.
Yeah, I've already said a few that Canberra won't score a try, which I don't think will actually happen, but I've always thrown a few banter in there. But as for Schneider, I think he's a halfback cheapie that we kind of need to throw in there with Ilias as well. So I think he's going to be in a lot of teams now that he's been named officially.
Does anyone not have him out of the four of us at this stage, boys? That'd be a better question to ask.
I got him in after.
Tim, you got him in?
Yeah, I got him in.
Timmy,
Okay, cool.
you gave me a mad pep talk about having Cody Nikorima. I couldn't let go of Cody Nikorima in my side, but I've got Schneider in, and my side, I feel much more confident in my side right now. So,
look, I want to apologise for that. I'm sorry to sort of put you on the spot and give you a hard time about some of your decisions. And look, your decisions, what do we always say? Trust your gut. So don't let me talk you out of things. I just thought that balance was a little bit strange.
No, but I've messed with it. I've had a look at it, and it looks so much better. The SuperCoach Experience. That's not meant to be.
I hope it works out for you. What was that?
That was meant to be.
He touched on the ad.
I touched on the ad. Tapane, named to start. He's in my side at the moment. I know with that forward pack, it's quite risky, but we've got Tom Starling, and then we've got three middles in Gula, Elliott, and Horsburgh on the bench. What do we think of Tapane? I'm looking at the team list. He definitely passed the eye test, and he can get attacking stats. But I'm just looking at that bench, and I think it's a bit heavy. And
it's high risk, high reward, because if he keeps the minutes up and he keeps his spot starting, I think it's great. But it's just with how much I think that forward pack will chop and change over the first few rounds if they don't start to win games. That's what worries me. But he's going to be their go-to player for sure, Sabs. I don't mind it. It's a good price if you wanted to kind of go him as your second front rower to partner AFB or Haas. I think it's worth a risk. But then again, if you could get AFB for 25k more, wouldn't you prefer that? That's just how I look at it.
Yeah, I've already got AFB.
Yeah.
Jake, there's another guy in the front row who's on the other side of the park, Hamian Ueli, who's named at number 10. He's 308,000. What do you think of him? It looks like, again, a really heavy bench. And there's also Andrew Fafita at 200k. What do you think of them two? And what do you think of them as SuperCoach options?
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of middles on that. Well, actually, all of them can play middle on that bench. So I think, you'd rather just go maybe Andrew Fafita because he's 100k less. You don't really want to be playing 300k on a player that's probably going to be putting out the same that he did last year.
But question, Jake, with the Sharks there. What happens when what's his face gets back? The center,
McInnes.
the utility. No, Tracy. What happens when Tracy comes back? Will he slot onto 14? Will Ikavalu come to 14? Which one of them four are going to miss out? I think that's the biggest thing you've got to take if you're taking Fafita as a cheapie.
They might. I don't know. New coach sort of. I guess that Fitzy doesn't really want to. He's at the moment not running utility. I have a feeling that when Trindle gets back, he might be utility. I read someone on the in the chat. Forgot his name. I think it might have been Jordan. He mentioned that Tracy was out with an injury, so. I think it was a hamstring or groin. So, but yeah, I don't know. The fact that he doesn't have utility on the bench means that maybe he's just covering all the middles.
I think he's.
And I guess Teague Wharton can play centre, so can Nakora, so we can cover the backlog. But yeah, as for going, I don't know. Braden Heminueli, he's a bit. He's good, but there's a lot of middles on the bench that I'd kind of stay away from him, except maybe Fafita. I
think he's a wait and see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe if he does get the preferred starting spot and he's getting a bit more minutes than what he did last year, I felt like when I've watched him before, he looks like he's reminded me a lot of Andrew Fafita, I should say. They've got that big body, you know what I mean? And I like what I see from him. It's just matter of minutes, and I think he could put out little scores, but he does have that sort of a little bit of upside in
High
him
work
too.
rate.
I think close to the line. Yeah, and close to the line, he looks scary. So
He could score a
like Barge
try at
over
any
for a try.
time.
yeah, I think he'd be a wait and see. I mean, you could start him, but yeah, what you say in going up or down a little bit in price, you could go down in price or up in price, and those options kind of seem better options. Going down a little bit to someone else or going up in a little bit to somewhere. Yeah, I think I wouldn't do it to start.
We've also got Nakora, who's had a lot of hype in the preseason.
Lots of
Jake,
hype.
what do you think of Nakora?
Yeah, I like him as an option. He's going to be outside Nico Hines. It's going to be our go-to edge. But it's just whether you want to spend the 480K on him or you want to go on Arrow, Tamalolo, and Aiken. There's plenty of options at that price. So a bit like the halves, it's going to be choosing the right ones to start with and I guess getting ahead of the rest.
Who are we tipping, guys? I'll start with you, Mikey.
I got the Sharks in this one.
Tim?
Yeah, I'll go Sharkies too.
Jake, obviously the Sharks, and I am going the Sharks as well. And Jake has put $20 on the line with Addo for a it doesn't supine miss first 4 of the first 10 games due to not being vaccinated. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I assume that issue has been sorted out, but I guess that's the risk you're taking.
Yeah, I think a lot of it might be just in terms of traveling, but I think all of Australia's kind of, I know Queensland have kind of just relaxed that. So I don't know if it's going to be a problem at all. It's more a club thing rather than, I guess, getting in and playing. I think.
Good question. It just popped up on the screen there, Savs. Did you see that?
Yeah. Yep, I did. We were just talking about that. All right, so moving on to the next game, Broncos versus the Rabbitohs. Some shocks here. So, Timmy, I think you got an apology to make to Mr. Corey Parker.
I don't know that I do have any apologies necessarily to make. I mean, he had 2 horses in the race. The first name he said was
David Mead.
David Mead, anyway. Yeah. So look, that's fine. Azarko's got the nod. We'll see how it goes. It won't pan out too well, and then I think that just because whatever. I'm wrong. I accept it. Fine.
Although, sorry, I think you might. I think they're going to be like interchanging throughout the game. So I think you will see Cobbo at fullback for parts of the game. Anyway,
we might see Cobbo actually attacking in the fullback area.
Boys, on Cobbo, do we need Cobbo? Like right now, that's the biggest question mark. Like I can't believe Pereira didn't get named here. What do we think is going to happen with this back line? Is it going to be one performance? Like if he does 2 bad performances, he's going to get dropped. Like it's 320K. There is a lot of options around that price. Do we need to take him?
He's out of my side. He's not a winger, and he's playing wing. If he was named at center, I'd be more for it because he's getting more runs in the middle. But you might get more base stats and runs from kickbacks and running back. But I actually think he's not a must-have, and he should.
He's very highly owned too. Yeah,
not as highly owned as he's. So what I've done is I've reversed my trades and kind of done, instead of Cobbo, Staggs is back in my side. I think Staggs is probably the only one that is safe in that back line. Corey Oates is someone.
I think Herbie's pretty safe there. He's a consistent player.
Yeah. You're right there.
It'd be the wingers that I think will get interchange and the fullback, obviously.
Agree. Jake, what do you think of like Broncos backline and what's your gut feel on that?
Yeah, I think the centers are pretty locked in. They were there last year. I think Cobbo's probably going to get a spot regardless, just because there's so many clubs chasing him, and Broncos are probably want to keep him happy. They've already lost so many plays in the past. They don't want to lose another gun. But yeah, I think Oates is one mistake, one dropped high ball away from being of being axed. And Tessie New, I think, is round 3, so I think he'll take over as Sarko in terms of backline. But I mean, you look at the halves this week against South. I doubt the backline gets much good ball with Albert Kelly and Billy Walters there. So I mean, I wouldn't be expecting a big score out of Stags is what I'm thinking. And I've also got rid of Cobbo as well.
Same here.
The fact that he's on the wing.
So we've obviously gone cold on Cobbo. Timmy, you were big on Cobbo in that in the Supercoach launch day. What are your thoughts on him now?
Been big on him
he's-
all preseason, man.
He's still a great player, obviously, but I think the fact that he's named at wing, has it put you off?
I think he's still fine.
It hasn't put me off. I think I'm still going to go with him. I just got a gut feeling on him. I just like him. I like what I've seen, and I don't think it's too awkward of a price. So I'm going to make a spot for him in there.
Very good.
I mean, it's going to be tough for him to score tries in the wet and stuff like that. But it'd be the same for any other winger. And look, I like his big body. I think he'll play well on the wing, regardless, returning the ball. And when you said you'd rather have him in centre, I'd prefer to have him on the wing. Wingers always score better in Supercoach. So
yeah, I guess I kind of I get that. When I look at a player, I much prefer a winger these days because they get more base stats from when they're returning kicks and things like that. So I just don't know if it suits Cobbo. I think Cobbo's more of could you imagine Katoni Staggs on the wing? That's the way I see it. Latrell Mitchell on the wing. That's the way I see it. I think he's more suited closer in the field. Mikey?
I think it's not the case. I think he's still a really good option. The only reason I've gone cold on him is just the price, the fact that everyone was hyping up Pereira. He done really well in the trials, and he's not even got picked on the wing. So I think that's what's really concerning for me because I'm just not sure. Adam Reynolds isn't here for the first week. The Broncos might struggle to score points, and I just think instead I've got an extra 60K. I could grab a base stat guy like Kurt Mann, who I think safe for 50 to 55. Where from Cobbo, I'm going to need to try to get around those points. So I think it's worth using an extra 60K. But don't get me wrong. I think he's still a great purchase. And I think a lot of the tries, even the Broncos score in their poor years, are on the wings. So I still think he's going to have a lot of tries come down his way. I'm just not sure. I don't trust, Kevy to just keep switching the lineups constantly. So he's just got me a bit worried not picking Pereira. Oates hasn't been seen anywhere. No one even really considered this option. And that's what I'm a little bit worried about. We know Cobbo's a player, but we know what Kevy Walters is like as a coach.
As Blocker would say, he's a player. I'll stick with you, Mikey. Jai Arrow named at 12. Their bench: Jacob Host, Havili, Tom Burgess, Michael Cheekham. It's not a very middle-heavy bench, so it spells well for Arrow. It means he's going to get the chance to get attacking stats on the edge. And then he's going to bump up his base when he jumps into the middle. What are your thoughts on Arrow? And is he still in your side? Is he still I think he was number 2 on your 3-2-1s?
Yeah, I've gone. This is the position giving the biggest headache. It's the front rowers because I really like Jai Arrow as an option, but I keep taking him out of my side to then cover and make sure I've got 25 playing players. I've gone with the double cheapie in the front row, so I'm carrying one gun, and then I've got the 3 cheapies. I'm really going to try that strategy. It's ruthless. It could really backfire, but I think there's a lot of value to spread around if I can do that. But yeah, going back to Arrow, I understand what you mean, Savs, but I've just got this feeling that Demetrio is not going to play him for 80. With that bench that, Havili is probably not going to fill in at hooker too much. He can play lock. He can do this. I see the 4 forward bench is a little bit tricky for Arrow because Cheekham can play on the edge. Burgess is a middleman. Havili, same thing. He can play lock. He can play prop. Host, same thing. So I think Colin Matangi probably plays 80. Murray's going to play 65 plus. I don't see where Arrow's. I don't know if he's going to get these high minutes. So I think I want to wait and see Arrow, and he could be a good round 3 purchase potentially. But I'm not as confident as you are, Savs, that he's going to get the minutes you expect.
Yeah, I think Arrow is someone, he's not going to hurt you if you don't have him. So any other thoughts on this team, Timmy? We got a comment here. Looks like you need some sleep. I mean, you've probably been waiting for this day for a long time. How do you feel that it's come? And what are your thoughts on this team?
What are my thoughts on this team?
This matchup
between Broncos and I think it's going to be tough for the Broncos in the first match, especially considering they don't have the their new recruit and starting for them. So in what's his name?
Adam Reynolds.
Adam Reynolds, yeah. So I don't know. I think South will probably do a bit of a job on him, to be fair. Looks like they've got him covered pretty easily. What are you guys thinking?
I am actually tipping the Rabbitohs. I was going to tip the Broncos if Adam Reynolds was playing, but they've tried awfully and Adam Reynolds is not playing. Mikey, who are we tipping?
Same as you. I was going to tip Broncos for an upset, but yeah, not anymore.
Yep. And Jake?
Yeah, I'm going South as well. And also another player for the Broncos that people might be drawn to is Paliasia. He's starting the front row. But Kobe Hetherington will be back next week, which probably push Carrigan in the middle. And I think Flegler's round 3 or 4. So, yeah, I wouldn't be drawn into Paliasia at all for the Broncos.
Yeah, same with Pakes, because I think, did Pakes get the starting hooker spot?
No, Turpin got it.
Turpin did, okay. Well,
Pakes is out with COVID.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. See, there's a lot of question marks with the Broncos at the moment and what their side's going to look like over the next 3 to 4 rounds. So, yeah, I really only like... There's not many I like from the Broncos other than probably Payne Haas and a few of the cheapies.
So we've got the next game. Actually, we've got a question on Cam Murray. What are our thoughts on Cam Murray this year?
I think it's going to be the same as last year, even potentially a little bit more. We don't know what his role is going to be with the new coach, but the fact he's got captaincy, I think he's going to be heavily relied on. I'm just worried that he might turn into the Jake Trbojevic, Victor Radley role where it's hit the line, pass out the back. Although he does have like one of the quickest play the balls and so much leg drive that you'd want him to be doing that. But yeah, I don't know. He's not going to do any bad for you. He's going to play 65, 70 minutes and score you 60, 65 points. So you're going to get exactly what you pay for, I think, with him. I just think there's potentially more value, more attacking upside at more guys around that price.
All right, next game. First game on the Super Saturday, the 3 o'clock game, the best time slot of the week, in my opinion. We've got the Knights versus the Roosters. Hopefully it's a dry track out there at the SCG. My captain is there, James Tedesco. What do we think?
He'll be a very popular option. Billy Smith's the interesting one. I'm keen. It's more so I don't have him. It's either him or Kurt Mann for me. But a lot of people go on, Suwali's just going to walk straight back into that side and probably drop Billy Smith out. I don't know if that's the case. Kevin Laguama's the 18th man there, which is interesting. When I thought he was probably going to win the spot. But if Billy Smith does a good job, he could keep it. It's in a team like the Roosters. He's probably going to score a few tries. But yeah, I'm not too sure. Like, I don't know. I don't think I'd go against anyone for starting with him because the price is not too bad compared to what we've, what we've got. There's a lot of center wings to choose from. So I think I'm trying to fill mine with base stat guys and only hold one attacking stat upside guy. So that's why I probably opt for like a Kurt Mann or a Firmo in the center wing instead of Billy Smith. But yeah, what do you guys think? Is anyone taking them? I know Tim might. Got a feeling.
Yeah, I'm actually going Billy Smith. 294,000. I think he looks the goods. He's obviously been kind of next in line for a long time. So this is his shot. This is his chance to prove himself. Obviously, injury history may deter him. But Jake, what are your thoughts on Billy Smith? Is he in your side?
Well, I initially had Kevin Garma in there, so it was a straight swap to Billy Smith in a high-scoring Roosters side. I think he's usually played left centre. But I know centres haven't historically been that high scoring, apart from Joey Manu. But yeah, 300K, as long as he can stay fit, I don't think he's going to lose his spot. Rob O is a coach that rewards, as long as you're doing your job and doing a good job, he's not going to axe you for whoever's coming back. So yeah, I think he's in there until he has a bit of a stinker.
Timmy, Billy Smith.
Yeah, interesting one, isn't it? Interesting price. A little bit nervous about the fact that he has been so unlucky with injury and just feel like he's just one of those poor guys that'll probably have it happen again to him just because it's what happens to these people that just are riddled with him. Let's hope he can. What we did get to see of him, he looks really exciting. I really hope that, he can stay on the field for them. I'm excited about the Roosters this year. Momo on the wings, funny. I wasn't expecting that one.
Yep. Yeah, so I was about to bring that one up.
I was keen on picking up the right winger, but I wanted to pick up the right winger probably a bit cheaper than Momo. If Momo was kicking, I'd be all over it, but I don't know.
Momo's on a bad spot. Yeah, not a bad pod if you think he's going to keep his spot over Suwali, but
I agree with Brad on that one. I think Momo's probably the next.
You're probably right, Brad. He's just at such an awkward price.
Yeah, he's 500 and something, wasn't he? Almost.
I think
485. 485.
Too much. You'd rather Zach Lomax if you're going to spend that much on a centre wing.
I think you've definitely got to wait and see. But the fact that we know Momirovski is not kicking goals, it's been confirmed that Sam Walker is. So is he
my boy?
Is he an option, guys? I think with the halfback, obviously Cleary is gone. This is a massive talking point. Who are we going in the halfback role? I know I said to you guys the other day that I'm going Jerome Hughes because Pappy wasn't named, and I was going to sell whoever wasn't going better out of Hughes and Hines. The fact that Pappy is named, now you've got to go out and out halfback now. Who is it? Is it Hines or is it Walker? I think they're definitely the two best options at this stage.
I personally, so I already had a backup plan. I was not confident, but I had a backup plan for if Cleary was going to be out. And I was going to start with Cleary. I was kind of hoping, if he goes out, I think it'll be good for my Supercoach side. Straight to Sam Walker, and with that extra money, I picked up Munster. So if you're going to run 3 cheapies in the half and only Sam Walker, I like running Sam Walker and then having Munster. I think Munster's going to be super for me, and I think Sam Walker could be a stepping stone to Cleary. I think
it's the easiest thing to say. There'll never be another
where he can make money. So sorry for the intrusion there. So I think he's a great option at 545. He's kicking goals. We know he's not the best kicker, but if the Roosters can keep scoring these tries, there's going to be games where he'll still pick up 20 points off goals potentially. So I think he's a great pickup. I'm very excited to have him. We saw last year that he has the attacking upside. He's only 19 as well. And I'm really keen to have another Rooster in my side. So he's straight at 545. I prefer to do that than go Hines. But I also like the Hines.
Him and Hines are doing my head in. I can't split them at the moment.
I mean, Jake, what do you
too.
As a Sharks fan? Do you like Walker better? Because if you like Walker better as a Sharks fan, then that probably says a lot.
I mean, the 140K that you get saved on Hines, and Hines being a bit of an unknown, a new team, not having played halfback. I've put Walker in my side as soon as Cleary was done. So, I mean, he does love running the ball, and I guess he was kind of protected last year by Robbo, and it looks like Robbo's just thrusting him in there with all his confidence. So, I'm keen on Sammy Walker.
Timmy, on the Roosters, were you going to say something, Mikey?
Well, I was just going to point out the ownership. I know it's going to change because Cleary's still pretty high, but Sam Walker's only at 6.5% at the moment, and Nico Hines is at 16.9%. So I do reckon he'll end up at amount between the 10 to 15%, but that's still pod territory. As Tim mentioned earlier, I think halfback's going to be key, and it's going to be where you can be a little different. So, I think you want to pick up, if you can pick up either of those blokes between 10 and 15, I think you're laughing.
There's so many options. Like you can even go Sexton. There's so many options in halfback, man. And I don't even think Sexton would be too far off the mark of the other guys too, being that he's going to kick as well, right?
And he's in a side that can score points.
Yeah.
He's got some attacking upside to him too. We just haven't seen as much out of him. I think that's where the risk comes into play. And I got burnt by Fogarty last year doing a similar move, so I want to stay away from that.
Yep. But if you needed to save that money, I think that's another
you could go
100 and something step down. So you've got the Nico at sort of 6 something. You've got Sam Walker at 5 something, and then you've got Sexton at about 4 something. So depending on the shape of your side, I wouldn't mind having any of those there.
I think Hines is actually the guy. Honestly, look at their draw. It's Raiders, Sharks, Dragons, Knights, Tigers. Then it goes Storm, Eagles, Broncos, Warriors.
Right? Did you say second game was the Sharks? Or the
Sharks, he did. He screwed that one.
The Sharks in
Yeah.
round 2. I think it's Para reverse.
Sorry, Para. I know the Warriors. Walker is a good option, but I think Hines is the man in his side. Walker is not. There's a lot of mouths to feed.
He's the man.
A lot of mouths to feed at the Roosters, and I really think that Hines is the man, and he's going to be a premium option this year. Tupanua, Tim, is named at second row. What do you think of him this year?
Look, in one of my first makeups of my first sides, he was in there. He hasn't sort of come anywhere near into the side again since like when I first made a side up. When, they first got released, everything. But yeah, look, I think he's a good option. The only thing I don't like is that you do have to rely on him to be scoring tries. You need to be playing him on matchup. And maybe in the early part of the year, you can't be playing him on matchup because if you got to be playing those premium. If you're paying $400 and something for someone, 400 and something K for someone, you got to start them. You can't not have them in your 17. So he can be a bit risky, and I think there's probably better options. I'm a bit off him now. I think maybe he'd be one to pick up later in the year if he's killing it.
Jay, Connor Watson named at 9. Is this a bit of a trap? I know he's going to spend time at 9 this year, but I mean, looking at him named at 9, it's not tempting, but it's really appealing.
Yeah, Sammy Verrills, I think, is back next round or the round after. So I think he'll go back to the utility role. Robbo's always said that he'll turn him into the best 14 in the comp. So I think that's how they're going to use him as a 14 when Verrills comes back. Yeah, I mean, he's tempting this weekend. And even as a 14, I still think he'll be good. If he come on and lock into the middle, wherever, and still score, I think similar to what he did last year. But I think, what is he? He's 500 something K, I think. So, Yeah, I kind of be looking elsewhere at that price range.
Mikey, Lindsay Collins named at the front row, 460K. He was very popular in the preseason, but what are your thoughts on him now? I think a lot of people have gone cold. Is he a sit and watch for you, or is he someone you consider?
He's someone on the radar. I don't think I could start with him just with his suspension record, and also he does seem to cop a head knock or an injury here and there. So, I can see the hype. I see a bit of attacking upside in him. Potentially he's one of those rangy front rows, kind of like Fafita. But, yeah, I just think there's so many cheaper options at front row, or I'd just much rather prefer Jai Arrow if you had to take the risk on one. The front row position at the start looked like it was going to be, decimated, but there's a lot of options. Just picking the right ones is the hardest part. Just quickly, I'm going to have to jump off, boys, but you're going to jump over to the Knights there. Is anyone else keen on Kurt Mann, or am I reading too much into it? I think that bench bodes well for Kurt Mann, even when Brady Jones and that get back, but he's someone that could easily play 80 minutes if injuries pop up. And 380K, man, I'm happy to get 50 to 55 points for him and pay for that. That's a pretty safe pick every week in your center wing as a lock available in the center wing at the moment anyways.
I think I prefer Bo Firma playing 80 minutes on an edge. Yeah. I mean, we don't know 100% he's going to play 80 minutes, but I think that's what I prefer, guys. If you're talking about Bo Firma versus Kurt Mann.
I've got him both, so I'm talking of just a genuine option over a winger like a Billy Smith or Cobbo. If you've got the money and you're going to take a guy that's probably going to score 20 if they can't score a try, or you can take Kurt Mann who can get you 50 without attacking stats. That's how I'll look at it. But it just depends on how many minutes you think he's going to get.
I'm not big on it. I don't like it.
A lot of people are going the upside kind of player. Maybe this is the way to go. Get some base stats, bank them early on.
Have a bit of both. Take, as I said, I've tried to fill in. I've got maybe in my starting center wing, I've got one winger. The rest, I've got a second row, I've got a lock, and then I've got a fullback. So I'm going for one upside guy and the rest to get about 50. It's a tactic that could work, but that's why spending a bit more than I usually do in the center wing, because I think I'm just going to try a different tactic this year, and I think there's a lot of options to do it this year where generally you can't. You could make a center wing without having to take really any wingers, which I know could be crazy, but you could do that and then carry the 3 guys on your bench as wingers.
This is a good point. Jack Howarth from the Melbourne Storm has commented. He is a regular listener of the show. He'll take Smith over Mann in a better team. I think, what's his name? Bradley. Billy Smith. Sorry, Billy Smith at 80K discount. I would take that over Kurt Mann.
Yeah, look, it's definitely an option. If I need to shed money and I don't want to do that front row thing, he'll be where I shed. But yeah, I just think he could be pretty solid for the 50 to 55. So, yeah. Billy Smith, I'm just worried with the Roosters lineup, but
cheers, Jack Howarth. Hopefully see you play later this year. Mikey, we'll see you go.
Lads.
But before we go, what are your thoughts on the last ones before we go, the 2 cheapies from the Newcastle Knights, Jirai Mimosa and Leo Thompson? I've heard big things about Leo Thompson.
Yeah, big raps from all the faithful Knights fans. I think they're both really good young guns, but same thing. I think in that pack, when you talking about a front row cheapie, I prefer Max King because he's got that spot on merit. Where these other guys that are in there, they've got people they've got to worry about stealing their spot. For the Knights, I wouldn't go anywhere near Thompson. And now I'm scared about however you say Momosia or whatever his name is. So that's a bit of a tongue twister. But now Brodie Jones is going to come back to that side. There's a few other guys that need to come onto that bench. So let's just wait and see. I'd prefer to take Fafita over him just because I think he's probably got a bit more job security than the last. But if more injuries come up, then these guys could be options for slow burns.
Very good. We'll see you later, Mikey, and thanks for coming on.
Yeah, good luck with your teams this week. Let's hope at least one of us gets it right. But yeah, keen for a big super coach here, lads.
Thank you. We'll see you later.
See you, boys. Catch ya.
See you, buddy.
About a lot of people, but there won't be.
Oh, beautiful ball. That's a wonderful delivery from Shane Warne.
The blonde hair, the zinc, the flared trousers, the sledging, the mystery balls, the flippers, the way he played the game of cricket. He was the greatest spin bowler that's ever played the game.
And he's got him straight away. Well, he really is a good competitor.
You knew that if Australia was in strife, you'd look around and just give Warne the ball. He'd be saying, give me the ball, and something would always happen.
When he was at the end of his run and he was spinning that ball from one hand into the other, and he was staring you down and a packed crowd at Lord's or the MCG or wherever, it was absolutely box office stuff.
That's bowling. That's good, clever bowling.
He was the perfect guy to illustrate what cricket was about. His legacy will be the thousands and thousands and thousands of children around the world that want to bowl like Warne.
If on that very rare occasion you got runs against Shane Warne, he would be the first one to knock on your dressing room door and say, blooming well played today, mate. That was outstanding.
He enjoyed just being in the competition, whether it was actually out there on the ground or up in the commentary box.
You only had to listen to half an hour of his commentary to feel how genuine he was about that art and the game itself.
And that's it. Australia are the World Cup champions of 1999.
I'm not sure there is a more dominant figure in my lifetime in sport, if you took one person, than Shane Warne.
Guys, I know we touched on it the other day, but it's still hitting in. Rest in peace, Shane Warne. Thoughts go out to his family. It's just the more you hear about it on the news, the more sad it is. But continuing on, Team List Tuesday, the Warriors versus the Dragons. Let's try and get through this because we've gone nearly an hour and we're halfway through now. So where are we here? So the Warriors versus the Dragons. Viliami Vele at 200K is named at starting center for the Warriors. He's a Viliami, Tim. Is he in your side straight away, or is there a bit of trapness going on with this one?
Oh, there could be trapness. I don't love centers as well, but I do love a Viliami, so I think he's going to get it there just on namesake, man. I think I'm going to have to find a spot for him in my. Yeah, I think I'll have him. look, that he seems to get good raps. I'm hearing good things about him. So let's see what happens. I don't know I don't know a great deal about who he'd be competing for with that spot. They've got Jesse Arthurs there as well, that's played a bit of center for the Broncos, obviously.
Yep.
But
Pompey is actually named on the extended bench, so it looks like he's got the spot over Pompey, which is, that's a positive.
Could be risky.
And Jesse Arthurs as well. I think he's on the extended bench too. I'm pretty sure.
He doesn't look like he's there.
Oh, I don't know what one you're looking at.
It's right here. Can't you see?
Yeah, that's a Wild World of Sports one because they got 24 players. 24 players now.
Oh, right.
So Jesse Arthurs is 24, but which doesn't really matter. That just sort of means he's like Ernie spot ahead of those ones, and we kind of had a feeling that he'd be named the other day.
Yeah.
So yeah, $200K. We need some cheapie centre wings, and he's the cheapest of the lot. So yeah, I'd definitely be throwing him in there. And another one, even Rocco Berry. I think he's $320K. I guess a bit of shine's been taken off him because we've got a $200K centre now. But he was an all right option. And I know Savs, who was it? Was it Marcelo or Dallin that you said was the second?
I was really on Dallin, but if I had to choose between any of them now, Marcelo's the man.
Marcelo Montoya.
I'm really high on him, and I'm not going to have him in my side, but it's I'm interested to see how he goes.
And what about Cody Nikorima? Are you on him, off him?
I'm off him. I've got in Schneider. Schneider's in my side. I've got Ilias and Munster. I'm pretty happy with my side. Nikorima, I was able to bank some cash by selling him. So I think he's a really good option, though. I think if you're not considering him in the halves, then a possible hooker. He's available at hooker. But yeah, very interesting. Oh, it looks like we've lost connection. We went from 83 viewers to 1 viewer. Surely that's not right.
That's probably right.
I started talking about Marcelo Montoya, so everybody's. Timmy, we've got Fanua Blake, Ewan Aitken, and Aaron Penne named on the bench. What are your thoughts on these guys from the Warriors?
There's so many names, man. Penne. Probably on the bench. I don't know. I think I'd just stay away from that one for now. There's so many options. I really like, Leslie Katolik's a good option. Aiken, I think, is probably going to definitely be locked into my side. AFB's really sort of someone I'm considering as well in that starting prop. It's just going to depend on the balance. I'm really keen to sort of start playing around with it and trying to make a side now. But yeah, I don't know. What are you guys thinking? I think I'm off Josh Curran at lock. I was pretty big.
Yeah, I don't think he's an option anymore. If he's playing, what do you think about when Tohu Harris comes back? I've heard that Tohu Harris is going to be back a lot sooner than expected. Does that move Curran into the second row?
Yeah, I think Eli Katoa is the one that's going to be the lose out on it. Even last year when he'd start over, say, Tohu was injured or someone, he never really played 80. So I don't even think Katoa will play 80 this week. He's got Murdoch Masilla on the bench. Bailey Sirinen can play out on the edge as well. So I think Eli Katoa, you probably expect maybe 50 to 60 minutes from him, where Aiken, I think what we saw from last year, he was playing 80. So I think you can lock Aiken in for 80 and maybe Eli Katoa 50 to 60 minutes in terms of that. But yeah, when Tohu comes back, I think it'll be. He always used to get named at 12, but actually play at 13. So I think that'll probably be Curran either to the bench or back to the edge.
Yeah, so I've actually just found out that our video was blocked because of copyright reasons. Yeah, copyright reasons. Bloody hell! Just trying to be nice, trying to be respectful.
So what does that mean? What does that mean that our video is blocked?
We're still recording, so that's okay. But it's obviously not visible to most people.
Oh, so it's come down. So people who are watching it can now were just like
they're not
off.
what they won't be able to watch it now. So that's a terrible. Okay, on the other side of the field, for St. George, Amone was named. Taro Sloan was named at fullback. Corey probably disagrees. What do you think, Timmy?
Yeah, well, I don't want to bring it. I do want to have a bit of an ongoing thing with Corey, but I feel like I don't bring it up too much tonight. I'm wrong on this one, so look, just leave it there. Yeah, look, I'm really excited about Sloan. Sucks that it's going to be wet to start the year because it's not going to be helpful for a lot of these sorts of players that I think they'll be sort of held back a little bit based on the wet. There's some options though in this side. There's I know a lot of people are keen on DeBellin. Lomax is a nice premium option as well. Cody Ramsey is a cheaper option. I don't kind of mind Cody Ramsey on the wing too. I think he's probably a bit better than some of the other options around a similar price. Is he the same price as Rocco Berry? Roughly?
No, he's 260, I think, Sloan Ramsey. But the issue is he pretty much played the whole season last year and still finished price at 260K. It's just that unless you think the Dragons are going to be scoring plenty of points on that left wing, be staying away from him.
Yeah, he's no good. He's no good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely
but any love for Jack Bird playing on the edge, guys?
I was just about to say that he's playing for a contract, it looks like. And he was really good at the end of the year last year, still playing in the centers last year, but he's going to get more base stats in the middle. Obviously, you had him last year, Jake. What are your actual thoughts on him?
Well, he did move to the edge, I think about 3 or 4 games last year, and he was great. He's getting more, I guess, runs, more tackles, and with that, he's getting more tackle busts because he loves just crabbing crossfield, just palming people off. So I don't mind him at all. It's the fact that I don't really want Aitken and Bird both in my team.
Yeah, I feel like they're very similar, aren't they?
Yeah, and I'm worried that Bird potentially could be like moved back into lock or something like that when maybe Sims is back to fitness, because I think that's why Sims wasn't, because he didn't play any trials. So I think that's why he sort of missed out. So I'm a bit nervous about Bird.
He tore his calf 3 times in the preseason, so that's why he wasn't named.
Yeah. So I'm just worried.
The Goz is named in the 17, guys, if anyone's keen on the Goz.
A really army mainstay, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had him all year last year. He was a great contributor, so I could I think we can actually expect a little bit from the Goz this year. I think he'll find his way onto the field, and he gets a few little meat pies. I get a little bit excited about him. I hope there is a time where he becomes relevant and I can jump on the Goz. I love Goz.
Very good. So moving on to the next game, we've got the Storm versus the Tigers. Now, this is probably the only game I think is an absolute lock for the week. The Storm are going to win. But
I wouldn't say it's an absolute lock. I mean, they think the Tigers are going to get flogged. They showed decent enough in the the game. I mean, if it's wet, it probably helps the Tigers a little bit.
Yep.
I mean, and without Munster, without Harry Grant, I know they've got Brand Smith in there, but I mean, still, Pappenhausen could be laid out as well.
So the big one is,
I guess with that, Pappenhausen massive in.
Yeah. The massive one on the Tigers side is Tulagi has won the second row spot, and Luke Garner is named on the bench. 250,000. Timmy, is he a lock in your side?
No, he's never actually been in my side. I've got my eye on him. I'm aware of him. I don't know. I've got a feeling that his job security might not be great. I've just got that weird feeling, and I'm worried he might be someone that is a bit awkward. I'm thinking maybe I might start without him, and he might be one of those guys that I end up picking up round 1 or 2 or something if he really impresses. But yeah, there's a few from. I'll tell you, who's sort of got my perking in my interest is the cheese. I feel like not many people are talking about the cheese, and even at lock, I know once he's playing 9 for in place of Harry in round 1. But I kind of like him at lock too. I think there's quite his little barge over the line tries, and I think he could be a premium hooker option again this year. I think he's one of those players that no one's really sort of hated to watch go around each week because he sort of always found the try line and always managed to score quite well. So I'm kind of keeping my eye on him as possibly maybe a consideration. I'm thinking now I'm not going to go a double cheapie in the hooker. I'm thinking I'm going to go Randall and a premium. So sort of tossing up between Smith, Grant, and Marnie.
Very good. And also on the other side of the park, Josh King named at 13. Team option, guys. I think he's 260K. Obviously with Nelson looking to come back. Is he? No, he's named on the bench. So with Grant to come back,
that Josh King spot that in 13 is a little bit, it pops out and looks nice. But I think next week Harry's due back round 2, right?
Yeah, Harry will be back next week.
So
Smith will go to lock.
Yeah, he'll go back to lock, and then I imagine Josh King will probably come off the bench, huh?
255K. He'll probably come off the bench, be a slow burn. No Jack.
Yeah, I'm a little bit off him. I think he'll score well in the first week, but then it'll be a bit disappointing from there on.
So Pappenhausen's in our teams. Yes, Josh King is commenting. I'm a trap. So Pappenhausen's in, lads.
Yep.
All right.
Means I don't have to pick Gutherson, so I'm happy.
All right, moving on to the next game. But before that,
by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped recently launched the Ultimate Men's Hygiene Bundle, the Performance Package. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off free worldwide shipping. Insert the code SCExperience at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, that's about 8 million balls. Now, I'm going to show you just Manscaped's little product here. This is the Performance Package 4.0. Now this is the lawnmower. It's got a pretty cool LED light, so like when you comes straight off right there. Manscaped has been kind enough to jump aboard and support us, so I need you guys to jump over to manscaped.com. We need 10 sales within the month for them to come on as a permanent sponsor. So make sure to let us know if you do come over from Manscaped and you use our discount code. 20% off free worldwide shipping. Insert the code SCExperience at manscaped.com.
Yeah, that was a rough read.
What were you doing? I thought for 1 second we were about.
I thought we were about to get. We're about to be in a bit of
he was going to shake.
We're about to get taken off nudity.
I'd say I've got some of their products here.
Pretty good, eh?
They've got this unique fragrance, and it's like a smell across all of their products, and it's like really, really nice. Hey, so I've got their like body spray, deodorant, shampoo, and like body wash, and it's all good. It's good gear.
Yeah, I got like their shirt and their undies and stuff, but like when I was doing the video, like I got like hair throughout all the undies because I actually shaved a bit off, and I haven't washed them yet either. So that's not
hectic.
Good. But yeah, this is like they gave me like a pretty sweet bundle, eh? Like crop preserver, crop reviver. Yeah, we meant to start the campaign last month, but we're a bit slow on that. And there's no better time than the present for now. So yeah, head over to Manscaped. I'm pretty sure I said the code was SCExperience, but it's SCEXP at the moment. I've requested them to change it, so try both, I guess. Obviously, I always fuck up with them sort of things. So yeah, great advertising. We're a great sponsor. We're a great person to endorse. But moving on, Parramatta versus the Titans. What do we think here? There's not too many shocks here, but I've seen a few questions about Dylan Brown. What do we think of Dylan Brown at number 6? Looks like he's playing on the left, which is, I bought Dylan Brown to start last season, and that was under the impression he was going to play left. What do we think of Dylan Brown, lads?
Well, I also had him at, I think, twice last year, and he burnt me twice. So that's still embedded in my brain. That's going to happen again. But I mean, the thing is, yeah, he's so good. He has good base. He loves run the ball. Surely he gets more than what I think he had 1 or 3 tries this last year. Surely he can get more than that this year. The issue is that they don't really revolve their attack around him. It's all done through Gutherson. So he's kind of maybe a second field. I don't know whether going to the left might help him a bit more. He was really good in the trials. So I know there's quite a few that are keen on him, and they're also a few keen on Mitch Moses. His ownership's above 10, I think. So I don't know whether it's people hearing the Para flogging Penrith in the trial or they've got a good draw, but yeah, people seem to be keen on the Para halves.
Very strange, that one. I guess with the rest of this side, I guess Mitchell Moses, I don't know if he is a SuperCoach option. For a few years now, he's just been a designated kicker. But he can back to the right, back to his preferred side, I guess. Does that mean he's in for a resurgence year?
I mean, it all depends on Para. Is Para going to finally win a comp for the first time in however long? It's probably their last chance. I mean, I don't mind it. He has some attacking upside. I guess he can go out and bang out a ton. And if you think Para's going to go, they usually start pretty well early. So if you think they're going to go well, then throw Mitch Moses 500K. He probably average 55, 60 minimum. But I don't know. I'm not all too confident about the Para hype.
For me, I'm just trying to balance it against the competition that both those players have, and I mean competition in that position. So, I'm at halfback. I'm still way more interested in Nico Hines and Sam Walker over Moses, and in 5'8", I think I'm way more interested in Luke Keary or Munster than I am with those fellas. So I don't know, man. Like the Para, it does seem like it's a lot of hype. I think there's because a lot of people are predicting they'll go well this year, and that they did beat Penrith in the trials. I think there is a little bit of hype around it. I think they're good options, but I just don't know that they're the best options. Maybe they will be the best because they've got a good draw to start off the year. Maybe they are the best options at their prices, but I don't know. I feel like I'm going to go elsewhere. I can't see me having either of them in my side.
I feel like trial bullies save their best performance for a trial against the weak Penrith side. So, I think they are going to start hot, but I'm not expecting them to be much better than they were last year. Jacob Arthur named at 17, so obviously with Will Smith out of the side. Mitch Rain is not named on the bench, which means Reid Marnie is looking like he's going to have a good starting role. On the other side of the park, Bo Firma.
But wait, just before we go there, we a couple of the backs for Para. Penasini gets a spot, Russell, so you can lock him in. But Sean Russell, what do we make of him?
Yeah, I like him. Obviously,
Stevo is expected mid-season, so that's maybe around 8-ish, 10. Is usually what they mean by mid-season. So, I mean, he's got 8 weeks on would be the left wing, which is usually their go-to side.
He's a little bit overpriced for a start.
I think he's around 300, is he?
Yeah, it's awkward. I don't know whether I like it or not. I can't see. I feel like I'm going to find other options over him, but I can still see him doing well enough to make a little bit of money and possibly score okay as well. But I don't know. I just feel like because he's not going to make massive money and just a funny price, I'd like to get him probably at least 100K more. 100K less, I should say. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree. He's just the kind of player that looks like he's going to fall over and he's going to score a lot of tries, but I'm not confident that he's going to have enough base there. But who knows? He could prove me wrong. And Parramatta, they are looking good this year. So on the other side of the park, Bo Firma has won that starting role. Obviously, it was a bit expected. But what are our thoughts on that?
On Bo Firma, yeah.
Sorry.
That was intense. Yeah, I kind of like him. I think I'm leaning towards him in my side. I love that he's got the dual. You can put him in second row or the centers. I think I'd probably have him in my centers, but who knows? Maybe he could be like a fourth option to have as a backup in second row as well. I like the price. I think he looked good last year as well. Where are those birds coming from? They're not in my room. Where are they?
Yeah,
birds
That's
in your room?
my house. The
That's
rain's
crazy.
finally stopped, so the birds have come out.
Okay, Mikey.
Sounds like they're in your house. Yeah, there's so many, like even Corey Thompson's a nice starting option, I think, for the start of the year if you wanted to go one premium option.
I really like Corey Thompson. He started the season last year on fire. So I really think Corey Thompson is a smoky for premium centre wing option to start the year.
For feeder too, let's talk about him. I sent you guys a little video that you couldn't see the other day, but apparently there's a video of him climbing a rope, and he's looking really good. He was just showing off in front of the boys at training, and I don't think he'd have that sore of ribs climbing up that rope. So I think he's good to go. I'm locking for feeder in, and I'm excited about it.
All right, before we move on to the last game, Toby Sexton, you mentioned him before. What do you think of him?
Good for his price. I think at the price I think if you couldn't squeeze someone like Walker or Nico into your side and you were sort of loading up a bit more elsewhere, and I don't mind it. I think with kicking, I think in the games he played last year, he looked really, really good. So I'm excited about what he could do for SuperCoach as well. But there are better options in his, I think. But price, it's just the price thing. It makes me pretty keen on him, a little bit keen. We'll have to see how we go. I don't know which way I'm going to go with it, but I think I'm leaning Sam Walker after our podcast today.
I like it. I think Sam Walker's a great option. But Sexton, I'm a bit cold on. He's definitely a wait and see, though. You could definitely go one of these players like a Sam Walker or a Nico Hines. But if Sexton is killing it, then you can bank the money there and spend your cash elsewhere on whoever is looking like you're going to need to get in their side. And that's where you can create your money. Jake, next game, Bulldogs versus Cowboys. Max King was named on the bench, which is, good for our cheapie stocks in the front row. What do you make of the Bulldogs side?
I wouldn't want to be a Bulldogs fan. But, yeah, I think I don't know how Ockenball gets a start. And I think I've talked to a lot of Dogs fans, and they don't know how he gets a start. Same as Jake Averillo. But, yeah, Max King is going to be in a lot of teams, 188K, carved up in the trials. Should get decent enough minutes. I mean, all front row is going to be slow burns. And I saw someone mention in the chat earlier that with all the rain, games are going to be a bit more middle heavy. So a lot of the middle players are going to be getting more of your points, I guess. What about those two fire brands on the edges, Hetherington and Pangai Jr.? Probably Pangai. Would you go near him? I know a lot of people were turned off from the last trial where he tried to strip Royce Hunt naked.
Maybe that was the brain snap he needed, though. Maybe he needed that in the trials. Everyone knew it was ridiculous. There was a lot of attention on it. And so maybe after that, he pulls himself back. I don't know, but I am a little off him. I think just because he is at premium price, I'm not in love with what I've seen so far in the trials. I don't, my gut feeling tells me it's a no-go. The thing I am more interested in, though, is on the other side of the field with both Nanai and Lukey getting named at that similar price. Is there one of those guys that you prefer, or are you guys one or the other? Or are you guys thinking maybe trying to find both, or neither?
For some reason, I prefer Lukey, but Nanai is also, they're both prodigies, man. Like, they're both, really good youngsters, and the fact that they're so close together is so hard to split them. I just wish one was a lot cheaper, so it make that decision much easier. I think Lukey is going to start the season well. And what I'm kind of thinking is instead of starting with a Bullimore, spend 60K more, get a Lukey. And for some reason, I got the number 54 in my head. So first round, you expect a 54 in base from him, or base and base attack. Whereas Ethan Bullimore, I'm seeing more like a 32 from him in base and base attack. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on these guys. I'd probably lean towards the more attacking one because they got a pretty decent draw to start off.
I think they're both just as good attacking as each other. They both got an offload, both quite quick. I know Lukey, he ran down, I think, was it Reece Walsh last year? So they both got attacking in them. I don't think they both play 80 though. They got Mitch Dunn on the bench, who I think is going to potentially go to the edge. So I mean, it's going to be picking the right one. And I think Lukey's sort of the one that I don't know. I've got in my head that he's the better of the two, or the more favoured of the two at the moment. So that's why I'm leaning towards picking Lukey over Nanai. But I mean, they're both pretty much. I think they're both 350. So yeah, flip a coin, choose the one, choose what. All like what Tim used to do. Pray to the gods. Choose the one with the best name.
Choose the one that you can bow down to more.
Yeah.
Hamiso named at number 1. Looks like a good option in the centre wing if you like that. Don't forget that they're playing in North Queensland, so it's a bit hotter up there, and if it is raining, it's going to dry up much quicker. Taumalolo named at 13. Dearden named at 6, which is, I mean, I didn't mind what I saw from the trials, so I don't mind that. But the big one, Jermaine Tuanua-Brown, 274,000. Is someone like him probably a better option to go instead of a Max King, Jake?
It's going to cost you an extra 100K. I'd probably prefer maybe Tuanua-Brown over, say, a Bullimore, because Bullimore will probably lose his spot in 4 weeks. Where Tuanua-Brown, I think, is going to be getting your 40 minutes, 45 minutes for probably the whole season.
Yeah.
The only thing is, what we've seen of him from previous seasons is just a bit of a meat and potatoes plotter. He's probably going to get you 40, 45 points playing 45 to 50 minutes. So, I mean, he's a little bit undervalued, I think, going to a new club and starting. But yeah, I don't, just like all front rows, there's not really that much, I guess, value in it, because you don't want to be stuck playing him unless you're happy to take 40 points every single week from a front rower.
Anything else we want to touch on, guys, or do you want to move on and finish?
Jason Taumalolo, I'd like to talk about. There's a lot of people that are sort of pretty keen on him. I've seen him in a lot of sides. Is he looking to get more minutes or something this year? Is that the go?
Maybe.
What's the story?
He had a hamstring niggle earlier in the season, so if he does get more minutes, he's not going to start off with more minutes. I think that's the issue.
Yeah, he's still coming back from an injury.
My gut vibe doesn't tell me. Yeah, it's a wait and see for me. A lot of people are starting with him in their sides, and I think he's a wait and see. I think he could be.
With Lolo, last year he still got 60, 65 minutes. Can't remember what he averaged, but it was decent enough minutes. The problem was how he was kind of used by Todd Payten. It was Todd Payten that kind of killed him. He was playing on the edge sometimes. He was more of a get the ball, pass out the back. Yeah,
there we go.
I think it was Todd Payten or even the assistant coach,
Gav.
Dean Young. Dean Young might have even said it.
I Gav Duncan?
To play plenty of minutes, but I don't know if that's
Gav Duncan.
Don't know if that's more than. I don't know. It's just where they use him. Where they're just going to use him as a battering ram, like they should be using him, like they did for 4 years before that, or doing this, trying to turn him into some sort of ridiculous ball player. But I don't know. For me, I'm waiting to see how he's used. We didn't get to see him in the trials, which was annoying to see how he's going to use. So he's a wait for me.
I love this comment. Brad Huxley, Nakora instead, baby. I like Nakora and Tupanua way better than Taumalolo. I think their upside is crazy. And very great. Let's move on to bold predictions and captain choices, and also our top sport play of the week. So using the code SEXperience, signing up to Top Sport will get you a nice little suite. They'll hook you up with just a great experience with Top Sport. What we're going to do is we're going to start off with $50 in the kitty, and we're going to put it on our lock of the week. So what we're going to try and do is get this up to $1,000, or just get it up as high as we can, and just like do a safe bet every week. And by the end of the season, whatever we have, we'll put it towards just an open bar for a drinks night or something. So our lock of the week. What do we think, guys? So we'll talk through this together. There's the Penrith Panthers versus Manly. I'm thinking Manly at 180. Manly 30 plus lock of the week. What I'm looking towards is, I think
Shush, Brad Huxley.
I think the Roosters, the Storm, and Parramatta in a 3-leg multi, or is that just not too much of a lock?
What did you say? The Roosters, the Storm, and who?
And Parramatta versus the Gold Coast Titans.
I'm not too sure on the last one. I don't mind, obviously, the two favourites for those ones, but I don't know. I think the Titans can easily upset Barrow.
Yeah, so do I.
There's not much value there.
No, there's not much value at all. But
$20.
Let's go with Top Sport, $1.55 for the Roosters and the Storm. So that'll get $50 to $75, and then we got to play the long game in this one. So that's a nice little bet to land in the first week. So what do we think, lads? Do we want to lock it in?
Is it too safe for us? I know Tim Moody likes a bit more value.
No, yeah, I like a bit more value, but I guess you still want to get the first one right, I guess, huh?
If we keep doing that throughout the season, so let me have a look. And then the next week we do it again at $1.50 odds. So
I think our good friend Jacob at Tripod would probably tell us that's not the way to be betting, but we could give it a crack.
Then we put the 75 on another bet the next week, then it's 112, and then another bet at $1.50, 168, and then another bet at $1.50, 253. In 4 weeks, that's $250.
All right.
Okay. We're doing it.
Bold predictions.
Bold predictions. So Tom Trbojevic is going to score between 70 and 80 for me.
Did you say 74?
I did say 74, but I'm just kind of like broadening my range. Tom Trbojevic between 70 and 80. James Tedesco, 100 plus. I'm going to chuck a cheapie in there. I'll go Nico Hines, 80 plus. And I'll also go Reed Marnie, 80 plus. And I'll go Billy Smith.
Didn't you say cheapie? Where was the cheapie?
Billy Smith, 70 plus.
Have you got about 55 players in your bold predictions? What's going on, man? I'm struggling to find. I can't find one, and you've got about 55 players.
It's just what I want to do this week. I'm really confident in my team and how I'm going. Jake, what are your bold predictions for the week?
I think Jesse Ramien is going to torch that the Schiller from the Raiders. I reckon he'll score 2 tries and get a ton. I'll go Sammy Walker. I think it might not be raining Saturday. I'm going to hope it's not raining Saturday. I'm going to go Walker to score a ton as well.
Very good. And Timmy?
I'm feeling really on the spot, and nothing's really standing out as bold to me at all. But look, I'm going to is backing the Panthers to win. Okay. Am I allowed to add that into it? Yeah, I want to do that. I also would like to say that the Roosters will win by 16 plus.
You could see the blood vessels straining in your brain.
Do we put it in the multi in the Top Sport 13 plus?
13 plus is safe. Yeah, I think.
Yep.
I think.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, and also, look, I want to chuck a player for a score. Let's go. Let's say Pappy for 120.
Ooh.
Awesome. I like it. All right. Captain options. And the Roosters by 13 plus is $1.84. So that makes the multi $2.30. So that's
I'm going to make my bold predictions. I'm going to come planned next week. I don't like making them on the spot.
Yeah. All right. Captain options this week. I'm going Teddy. I haven't thought about my vice captain yet because I'm still just worrying about my side, but Teddy or Pappy. There's a chance I might VC Nico Hines actually. But Jake, what is your captain option this week? Are you having Tedesco? I know we gave you lots of shit last year.
Yeah. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it all preseason. I haven't copped it yet. But yes, I do have Tedesco, and it was annoying if Melbourne played before, and I knew Pappenhausen was going to play. I'll definitely be captaining him over Tedesco, but can't risk it. So yeah, Tedesco I think is going to be captain, and I think he'll be the most captain this week for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point, Jake. I was thinking leaning Pappy, but I don't want to be stuck in that position where come an hour before he's not named, and then I'm, having to find a captain.
You have to play Gutherson or someone.
Yeah.
There's not much after Storm.
Very good. Yeah, I agree. I think stick with the pack with your captains nice and early. There's not much of a jump you can get out right now, and a lot of the teams are still warming up. Tedesco hasn't played a preseason match, so these and Pappenhausen as well. So a lot of people are going to be rusty. So just stick with the pack for now, and rely on your pods that you've got your team in. Guys, thanks for coming on, and good luck with your Supercoach teams. I'm sure we'll be in touch during the week and things will develop. And I guess we'll keep people informed on our page. We've got a tipping comp going up. I've just put that up today. It's just through ESPN. You use the ESPN app, Jake?
I've joined it. Yep.
So you're the first to join it. Timmy's also got a podcast with the champions on tonight, so listen out for that. And then tomorrow he's got his new podcast with Tripod, The Winning Mood. It's like a Supercoach crossover with betting. Brought to you by Dabble and Top Sport, which is quite nice. So keep an eye out for that. He'll be live tomorrow night, about 8:30, is it?
Yeah, 8:30 our time, Sydney time.
Yeah. Sweet. So keep an eye out for that. And cheers for tuning in, guys. We got over 100 listeners today, which is awesome. So peace out, guys, and we'll see you throughout the season. So good luck with your teams.
Go the Panthers.
Oh, and Timmy's on the live show on Thursday as well.
Yeah,
be popping your little face out there, mate.
Look forward to that.
Yeah, so good luck. Give us make sure to put in a word Tommy Sangster for us, Timmy. So me and Jake can come on with you next time.
Tad don't want us.
Yeah, no, they do. They do.
Just put you in my luggage or something and have you pop out.
Yeah. All right. Cheers, guys, for listening, and good luck with your Supercoach.
Good luck with your Supercoach.